Hey, what's up everyone? I just want to talk a few things about the guillotine and how the choke actually works. So when you guillotine someone, you're basically just making a circle and then trying to close down that circle. And so you'll see a lot of people try to apply the choke incorrectly, and it can still be effective, but it's not doing it the most efficient way. So there's basically 3 ways you can shrink the circle. The first way to shrink the circle is to lift your hands up. So as you can see, the area that their head would fit in is still getting smaller each time I lift my hands. The next way to shrink the circle is if I fit their head through, I'm gonna lean back, and that changes the angle of the circle, so the top is pushing down and the bottom is pushing up on their neck. And once again, that can constrict, but they can change the angle with you and follow. The third option is to crunch down. So when I crunch down, my shoulder is doing an oblique crunch down to my hip. And you can see the space gets a lot smaller, and no matter what angle their head goes on or how much they try to fight your hands, I'm not using as much strength, and instead I'm just using the mechanics of my body to close the space. So if you notice, when I have the choke on Cheyenne, if I lift up, I can get him to tap, but he can just grab my hands and throw his arm over my shoulder, right arm or left, either way. Yeah, I mean, he grabs over my shoulder and now I can't extend the same way, so that's why that defense works. On the flip side, as I start leaning, same thing, I can get the tap, but if Sean keeps going with me, it doesn't work. So if we're on the ground and I try to lean back, he just puts his head on the mat. So that's why you always hear coaches yelling, put your head on the mat against the guillotine. So the third is when we're in the choke, even if he has his hands pulling, and even if he puts his head on the mat, if I crunch down, but really post up on your head, so he's really posted, I still get the tap because I'm not counting on any lift, and I'm not counting on an angle which he can follow the angle. Instead, I'm just using my body to shrink that space. And that applies for any type of guillotine you're hitting. So as you're starting to play with any variation, any leg position or any grip, I really want to crunch down. And that downward crunch takes away the last of the space and makes your guillotines way more effective. So anytime you're playing with your guillotine stuff, check it out for sure.